Wake up, people! What I'm about to tell you will blow your mind and expose the real story behind Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce that the mainstream media is refusing to cover. If you think you know what's happening in Kansas City right now, you're dead wrong. Before I destroy the lies you've been fed, smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, because I'm about to drop nuclear truth bombs that will change everything you thought you knew about this so-called perfect couple. Listen to me very carefully. Hundreds of fans didn't just randomly show up at a Kansas City beer store because they were bored on a Sunday. This was orchestrated madness. And here's what really happened that the media won't tell you. Store employees were lying through their teeth when they said Taylor and Travis weren't there. Think about it. Why would hundreds of Swifties suddenly descend on a random beer store unless they had inside information? This wasn't coincidence. This was calculated. And you want to know the real kicker? Travis Kelce conveniently postponed his podcast right before this chaos erupted. Coincidence? I don't think so. The timing is too perfect, too convenient, too suspicious. Here's where it gets really interesting, and this is why you need to share this video with everyone you know, because the truth is being buried. Travis and Jason Kelce just announced they're shutting down their podcast, New Heights, with 2.5 million subscribers. That's millions of dollars in revenue they're walking away from. Nobody, and I mean nobody, just walks away from that kind of money unless something big is happening behind the scenes. They claim it's because of training camp, but let me ask you something. Did Travis skip his podcast last year during training camp? The year before? No. So why now? Why is this year different? Because something is falling apart, and they're trying to control the narrative. And here's the piece of the puzzle that makes everything make sense. Scott Swift's health scare. But here's what they're not telling you about the situation. Travis is particularly concerned about Scott's well-being, but why? What's really going on in the Swift family that has Travis this worried? Normal boyfriends don't get particularly concerned about their girlfriend's father unless there's something major happening. And the timing. Scott's health issues coinciding with Travis needing to report to training camp? With the podcast shut down, with Taylor going into hiding. This isn't coincidence, this is crisis management. For 2 years, we've been fed this fairy tale romance between America's sweetheart and the NFL golden boy. But what if I told you that everything you've seen has been carefully orchestrated PR? Think about it. Every spontaneous appearance, every candid moment, every leaked photo, it's all been too perfect, too convenient, too calculated. And now, when real life hits, when family health scares happen, when career pressures mount, when the cameras can't be controlled, suddenly they're nowhere to be found. Suddenly podcasts get canceled. Suddenly fans are being lied to at beer stores. This is what real relationships look like when the PR machine breaks down. Let me break down what's really happening with this training camp situation, because the sports media is in on this cover-up too. Travis has been to training camp before. He's handled the pressure before. He's managed his schedule before. But this year, everything needs to be shut down. Everything needs to be postponed. Everything needs to be hidden. They start training camp on July 22nd and finish August 13th. That's 3 weeks. You're telling me a guy who's been in the NFL for over a decade can't handle a 3-week training camp without shutting down his entire media presence? Something else is happening, and they're using training camp as the perfect excuse. And here's another thing. They've got preseason games against Arizona, Seattle, and Chicago. These aren't random games. These are massive markets. These are cities where Taylor has huge fan bases. But suddenly, mysteriously, there's radio silence from the Kelce camp. No podcast episodes to promote these games. No media appearances. No social media buzz. This is PR damage control at its finest, people. They're going dark because they can't control the narrative anymore. Let's talk numbers, because numbers don't lie. 2.5 million YouTube subscribers for their podcast. That's massive. That's influence. That's power. And they're just walking away from it. Just like that. When was the last time you saw anyone with that kind of following just disappear without explanation? Without a proper goodbye? Without maximizing their final episodes? This isn't a planned break. This is an emergency shutdown. Here's what really gets me fired up. The mainstream media is complicit in this cover-up. They're feeding you fluff pieces about training camp and focusing on football when the real story is staring them in the face. They're protecting their golden couple because the truth would destroy the narrative they've spent 2 years building. But I'm not mainstream media. I'm not beholden to publicists and PR teams. I'm telling you the truth that they don't want you to hear. Look at the timeline. Scott Swift health scare. Mysterious Kansas City beer store chaos. Sudden podcast shutdown. Training camp concerns. Complete media blackout. This isn't random. This is a pattern. This is crisis management. This is damage control. And the fact that they think they can hide it from us, that they think we're too stupid to connect the dots, that insults me, and it should insult you too. Mark my words, after training camp, after the preseason games, after they think enough time has passed, they'll try to come back like nothing happened. They'll restart the podcast. They'll make public appearances. They'll try to rebuild the fairy tale. But we'll remember that when things got real, when the pressure mounted, when the perfect image cracked, they ran and hid. If this video opened your eyes, if this video made you think, if this video showed you the truth they don't want you to see, then you need to share it. Share it with every Swiftie, every Chiefs fan, every person who's been fed these lies. Hit that subscribe button right now, because I'm the only one brave enough to tell you the truth. Ring that notification bell, because when this story explodes, and it will explode, you'll want to be the first to know. And drop a comment below telling me what you think is really happening, because together we're going to expose the truth they're desperately trying to hide. The truth always comes out. Always. And when it does, remember, you heard it here first.